Broadcasting live from the Albay PIO News Center, providing you the most exclusive news update from all over the province. This is News at 12. News at 12.
For the local scene, Albay offers cash rewards to palarong athletes. The provincial government of Albay has pledged cash incentives for Albayano athletes competing in this year's Palarong Bicol. Governor Noel Abriaga Rosal announced that the members of the Albay Victors delegation will receive 5,000 pesos for every gold medal, 3,000 pesos for every silver medal, and 2,000 pesos for every bronze medal they win in the regional meet. Rosal said the incentive program recognizes the discipline and hard work of young athletes representing the province. He added that the financial rewards are meant to boost morale and inspire stronger performances in one of the region's premier school-based sporting events. The Albay Victors delegation is composed of 702 delegates, including athletes, coaches, officiating officials, and chaperones. Palarong Bicol gathers top student athletes from across the region and serve as a platform for grassroots sports development and healthy regional competition. Meanwhile, fire prevention drive gains strong support. The Albay Police Provincial Office joined the opening of Fire Prevention Month led by the Bureau of Fire Protection in Legazpi City, with Police Lieutenant Colonel Leia B. Supelana representing Provincial Director Police Colonel Noel Nonato D. Nunez. The ceremony signaled the start of the nationwide March campaign focused on strengthening fire safety awareness as incidents typically rise during the dry season. Government agencies, local government units, and partner organizations took part in the activity to reinforce coordinated fire prevention efforts. Officials underscored the need for strong interagency collaboration and active community participation to protect lives and property from fire-related incidents. The Albay Police Provincial Office said its participation reflects its continuing commitment to public safety, disaster preparedness, and building fire-resilient communities across the province. Moreover, DNR leads Wildlife Day celebration. The Department of Environment and Natural Resources Regional Office 5 will spearhead the World Wildlife Day 2026 celebration in Albay in coordination with Albay Park and Wildlife and the Energy Development Corporation. This year's theme, Medicinal and Aromatic Plants Conserving Health, Heritage, and Livelihoods, highlights the vital role of plant resources in biodiversity conservation, cultural preservation, and sustainable community livelihoods. Activities will begin at 6 in the morning with a wildlife release and tree planting drive at the Mount Masaraga Water Wash Forest Reserve in Amtic, Ligao City. An afternoon program will follow at 1 p.m. at the Ayala Mall Legazpi Event Center, featuring exhibits and lecture series focused on wildlife protection and sustainable environmental practices. Organizers say the celebration aims to strengthen public awareness and encourage broader multi-sector participation in safeguarding wildlife and natural resources across the province. In the national scene, more women caps for VAUSI cases. The Philippine National Police said Monday it is deploying more female officers to help victims of violence against women and their children and communities. PNP Chief Jose Melencio Nartates Jr. said the move follows a rise in public trust in the government's emergency hotline after it recorded more than 5,000 VAUSI-related calls in 2025. He said the police force will assign more women officers to barangays so victims can feel more comfortable and safe in asking for help. Nartates added that the effort is not only about responding to reports but also about building trust and giving hope to victims. The 911 hotline, relaunched last September by the Department of the Interior and Local Government, was updated to combine emergency services, and former PNP Chief Nicolas Torre III earlier assured the public that domestic violence cases can be reported through the system. And another story. Oil price surge prompts fuel and preparation. The Department of Transportation said it is preparing to release a fuel subsidy if global oil prices reach $80 per barrel, following rising tensions in the Middle East triggered by U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran. Acting Transportation Secretary Giovanni Lopez said the agency has ordered its road sector to begin processing the necessary documents so the 2.5 billion peso subsidy can be released immediately on the price threshold is met. Lopez also said the Land Transportation Financing and Regulatory Board is reviewing pending fare hike petitions filed by various transport groups. The conflict escalated after strikes reportedly killed Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, while Iran's retaliatory missile and drone attacks in the Gulf killed 4 people and injured dozens, according to the UAE Foreign Ministry. Although Iran has not formally closed the Strait of Hormuz, its Revolutionary Guards warned ships against passing through the key oil route, and at least 2 vessels were reportedly hit near Oman and the UAE, prompting major shipping firms to suspend operations there. Energy analysts said a prolonged blockade could disrupt up to 12 million barrels of oil per day, potentially pushing prices to $90 or even above $100 despite emergency reserves held by oil importing countries. Meanwhile, House vows fair impeachment process. Faustino D. III said the House of Representatives will handle the 4 impeachment complaints against Sara Duterte in a fair, lawful, and transparent manner, stressing that the chamber will fulfill its constitutional duty. D made the statement as the House Committee on Justice began deliberation, clarifying that the panel's task is to determine whether the complaints meet the required form and substance under the Constitution and the House rules. He underscored that the proceedings are not meant to a political show or a trial by publicity, but a formal constitutional process led by the committee chaired by Jervel Ruistro. The Speaker emphasized that impeachment is about protecting institutions and upholding the Constitution rather than targeting personalities or advancing partisan interests. D also assured both the Vice President and the complainants that the process will respect fairness, and adding that he will not interfere and will instead ensure the House conducts its work professionally and in line with the law. For the news outside the country, widening conflict in the Middle East. The United States carried out airstrikes across Iran while Israel expanded its military actions into Lebanon following the death of Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and rising tensions between the two sides. Iran responded by launching missiles and drones toward several countries in the region, including Israel and the United Arab Emirates, after the U.S. military said it had struck facilities linked to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. The Israeli military said its targeted sites in Tehran and in Lebanon associated with Hezbollah, while reports from Beirut describes explosions and exchange of fire. U.S. officials, including President Donald Trump, said operations may continue, and the Pentagon confirmed that the 3 American service members were killed and 5 others were seriously injured. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian said the country would respond to the attacks as missile strikes hit Israeli cities and incidents were reported in parts of the Gulf region. International reactions have been mixed, with some groups calling for restraint while others express support for their respective sides, as concerns grow about shipping disruptions and the possibility of a broader regional conflict. In a related news story, First Lady to lead UN Security Council meeting. U.S. First Lady Melania Trump is scheduled to preside over a United Nations Security Council meeting, marking the first time a First Lady or First Gentleman has held this role. Her office said she will focus on education and peace, while the U.S. holds the Council's rotating presidency for March, despite recent tensions between Washington and the United Nations over funding and policy. Observers note that the meeting comes after President Donald Trump withdrew support from several UN agencies and created his own Board of Peace to bypass the Council on certain issues. The announcement comes amid an escalating conflict as U.S. and Israeli military actions in Iran followed the death of the Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, with Iran responding through missile and drone strikes across the region. In another update regarding this related to our country, Filipino caregiver killed in Israel airstrikes. The Philippine government is helping bring home the remains of Mary Ann Velasquez de Vera, a Filipino caregiver who was killed by shrapnel during an airstrike in Israel. Her husband, who is also a caregiver in Israel, is working with the Philippine Embassy in Tel Aviv and the Department of Migrant Workers to arrange the repatriation. The government will provide financial help to her husband, while the Overseas Workers Welfare Administration will assist with funeral and burial costs. Mary Ann was trying to help her elderly patient get to a bomb shelter when she was hit, and her death was confirmed through biometric records. That ends our news break for today, March 3, 2026. We'll be back tomorrow for more news updates. Thanks to our noon news break writers, Elze Lorejo and Naomi Hernandez. And on the technical side, we have Richard Bobis. To our OIC Provincial Information Officer, Marty Gonzalez. This has been your anchor, Anessa P. Babb. Thank you for subscribing. Albay in my heart.